Before I even go into this discourse, coming out of the Sagittarius full moon, let me make one point really clear. The same person or persons who you may feel personally that I don't like this person or I don't like that person. This could be at the job, this could be in your family, this could be your spouse, sibling, or whoever. The Cancer Mars transit, it was a point in which we also at the same time were put with certain masters. And some of the masters in our life around us, they were there to transfer skill sets, competence. And you were the same person transferring to that person or those persons, plural. Okay? This could be singular or plural. And both of you have a quarrel. Or all of you have quarrels in different areas. However, you are among masters. Who's going to have the humility to still be the student even though personally you don't like the person? You feel you don't care for the person. I don't like what they said. I don't like what they did. Or through the righteous anger of Cancer Mars transit, you may have felt entitled to a different outcome. Triggered. Projecting what used to go on with you in childhood onto that person. Deluding yourself as if it's your first experience with that through that person. But that energy followed you from childhood, and you're simply blaming that person because they remind you of it again. We got to walk back some things. Please don't be arrogant and think that this don't apply to you. Yes, it does. It applies to every last one of us. But will you receive the message? Listen. The mastery that you're supposed to have going forward, you were supposed to get it from one of your enemies or some of your enemies. Your own enemies to your emotional perception, which was really a reflection of the enemy within you, was also a master in your life. And they came to teach you skills, give you competence, develop you, not only in the physical realm, but also in the spirit, indirectly, unwittingly. The souls who knew the agenda while the flesh was not aware. But did you learn, or did you allow your ego to steal your blessing? Did you let your ego get in the way? Did you let your ego ruin it for you? You see, we think we get to pick our masters as being somebody who we like, somebody who we admire, someone who comes with a long robe, talking holy and solemn, looking like Jesus floating down off of a cloud, and that's your master. No. Your master, this time around, was the same one who you had karmic, emotional burdens to iron out. Because not only were they teaching you in the physical realm, they were also teaching you in the spiritual realm at the same time. See, we got to be careful. We got to be very careful. A messenger is sent to you. A prophet is sent to you. A master is sent to you. A teacher is sent to you. A guide is sent to you. A mentor is sent to you. But you got personal ego power struggles to deal with. So it misses you. You didn't see it. You didn't know it. You didn't realize it. You see how expensive it is to be in your damn feelings. You may say, oh, infamous astrologist, what are you talking about? What am I talking about? No, what is God talking about? Sagittarius 21st degree, full moon. Do you understand? Sagittarius 21st degree, full moon. Walking in the shoes of a master is the Sabian symbol. Walking in the shoes of a master is the Sabian symbol. Walking in the shoes of a master is a Sabian symbol. By copying the behavior and ideas of an awakened being, we are likelier to awaken ourselves, receiving guidance from a true master. Your enemy can be your guide. Your enemy can be your teacher. Your enemy can be your master. Because you have a perception of the person as an enemy, which doesn't mean that they are an actual enemy. You're perceiving them of that because it's reflecting off of the enemy within you and it's projected outward. And you're the one mistaking it for being them as the source of the frustration, pain, and irritation that you have. You see, some of us owe some apologies. Some of us should be praying for somebody, but instead you're praying for their downfall. Some of us is hating on people, but really should be admiring them. Misplaced rage and anger abound. Some of us have anger and rage that does not belong to the people who we assign it to. Unjustly frustrated and angry, but it's really with yourself. You're really disappointed with yourself. You're really mad at yourself. And you make somebody else pay for it. Imagine when you make your master pay for it, who came to teach you many things. The souls work in mysterious ways. It's what I'm trying to explain to you. Did you miss your master? I don't think you're hearing me. But we're going to move on. And I'm just going to hope that you receive what I'm saying. Because, oh, it's important. So important. Please never forget that when a master is in our midst, it usually comes with karma along with it. And for that, there's a grade of humility that must be there. If we don't know how to produce or manifest humility, humiliation has to come until we learn. Humiliation. Humiliation can surround a relationship dynamic that you have with someone. And if you don't know how to humble yourself, get out of your own way, that is, get out of the way of your ego, or get your ego out of your progressive way, you're not going to learn humility. And you don't get to be a student until you have the spirit of humility. You do not get to be a student until you have humility. And if you are with a karmic master without humility, it will only feel like a curse, a restriction, a burden, a prison of suffering. While the perception was your own doing. The perception was your own doing. Sagittarius 21st degree, a child and a dog with borrowed eyeglasses. A child and a dog with borrowed eyeglasses. That's perception. I'm warning you that who you thought was an enemy could have been your master who came to teach you things. And if you look at a synastry chart, for example, with that person, Saturn or Pluto could indicate that, as well as Jupiter. That although you thought that you were the one who was teaching them, it only went one way. They were also teaching you. It went both ways. And whoever learns humility is the one who gets to be the student. Whoever does not learn humility does not get to be the student. And that karma must repeat itself in another way. I hope we're learning. I hope we're understanding that when a master comes, you have to be in a spirit of humility. And this is why when masters manifest into our life, they usually come with humiliating circumstances for you. Circumstances that humbles your heart, circumstances that breaks your ego, circumstances that bends your back, circumstances that lowers you down a notch. So your ears can open and your eyes can open. Because arrogance, it steals our blessings. It causes us to betray our wisdom. We are too full to receive. Full of our own nonsense and assumptions, incompetence, arrogance, self-destructive thinking. You see, we have to slow down. And looking behind us, we have to make sure that we didn't miss the lesson. Oh, that person put me through hell. Oh, I didn't like that person. Oh, they stressed me out. Oh, I'm tired of people. Oh, I can't this. Oh, I can't. That was your master. That could have been your master. But your ego was in the fucking way. Training you, developing you, molding you, and also demonstrating the mastery of a skill set that you're supposed to learn, that you're supposed to retain, because you're going to need it where you're going. But did you miss it? Because you were caught up in what wasn't even important? I could go on and on. But again, I don't know if you're hearing me. We'll see. Concerning the squares that we have going on between Mars and Uranus, and also Saturn and Jupiter, let's align our mentality and let's align our attitude with what this could mean. I compiled this discourse impulsively, so the tone will be different in other parts of this discourse. However, message is the same. So let's look into it. Mars is anticipating its exit out of Leo into Virgo. That is from the 5th house to the 6th house. Uranus is anticipating its exit out of Taurus into Gemini. That is out of the 2nd house into the 3rd house. These are points of preparation where these squares are at. These points of preparation, it requires a closing process. That means there's deadlines and there are demands. Deadlines and demands. So, as it relates to Mars, it's about closing up your fight to express yourself, consistent with your heart soul urge vibration. It's closing that up in order to refine it, okay? By now, you should have gotten in touch with what that expression means, what it's about. As Mars leaves from the 5th into the 6th house, it's preparing to refine. And to refine means there are responsibilities, there are details, there's work to do. The Virgo algorithm, it's quality control. Polish and refine. So it's one thing to say, hey, you're talented. You're really gifted. You're good at basketball. You're good at fighting. You're good at art. You're mechanically inclined. When it comes to Virgo, it means you need to go to finishing school. You have to take it to the point of mastery. You got cleanup to do. Yes, you're a good backyard brawler, but that's a different story if you're talking about going fight professional. You're a great basketball player in the hood, but professionally, you got to stop smoking. You got to stop drinking. You got to get in the gym. You got to get under the mentorship of a coach. You got to refine it. Our gifts and talents, it means nothing without refinement. Don't flatter yourself. Yeah, don't flatter yourself. That's what it means for Mars to go from the 5th house to the 6th house. Don't flatter yourself. The heart soul urge expression, it is natural to your soul. It's what you will do no matter what. You're good at it. But it means nothing, it's futile if you're not polishing it. I think I made that point, okay? So this is what the Virgo is about. When Mars gets into Virgo, that's what it's seeking to do. Now the square to Uranus, that's from the 2nd house to the 3rd house. The 2nd house is what you value. The foundation of what makes you stable, Taurus. It's what you have cultivated in life that gives you contentment, joy, pleasure, comfort. It's the values that you realize through your soul and your astral body's experiences, your ethos. It's where your self-esteem comes from. And the 2nd house, you protect it with healthy boundaries. As the second ascends into the third house, what is happening here is that now you must take your value and what you value and your values, your ethos, with your boundaries. You have to take it to the world, starting with your siblings at the third house. But because I'm talking to grown people, it's a community. The people around you who you borrow a cup of sugar from. The people who give you gas money until next week. The people who will be there at your funeral if your ass drop dead right now. Okay? That's the third house. It's time to take who you are, the value of who you are, second house, the values of who you are, second house, the stable knowing and ethos of the self, identity, second house, your boundaries that preserves it, second house, that which you have cultivated to stabilize the identity in life, second house, you must now bring it among others without selling it, without losing it, without dropping it, without failing to get fair negotiation with it. That is what Uranus is telling you. Uranus is the impulse of authenticity. It's the impulse of stay true to you. It's the impulse of that's what I ain't getting ready to do. Yeah. So Uranus is telling you, prepare yourself and all that makes you who you are, all that founds the foundation of your self-esteem and your identity, your values and what you value and the value that you have cultivated in life from the authenticity of the self. You must now take it among others without selling it or losing it, because you're afraid to be betrayed, abandoned, walked away from, made fun of, laughed at, rejected, talked about, gossiped behind. And the list goes on. Uranus is telling you, I bet not catch you selling your soul, nigga. I bet not catch your ass down the alleyway selling your soul. Because you think somebody loves you. Because you think somebody gonna do you a favor. Because you think it's gonna get you ahead. I better not catch you selling your values and your soul. Because you want to skip the steps of cultivation. That's what Uranus is telling you as it squares. I bet not catch you playing yourself. Because I'm the one who recovered your self-esteem. Understand? That's what Uranus is telling you. So refinement and preservation of the second house, that's what's coming up. As Uranus goes through Gemini, it means war with your community. What is that war? It don't mean you putting on the brass knuckles and picking up guns. No. The war is you will be tempted to sell your soul. You will be tempted to conform. You will be tempted to go back on your heels. You will be tempted to deny your own shadows, deny yourself, pretend to be somebody who you're not. You'll be tempted because you want somebody to be there to love you. You want somebody to be there and say they'll never leave. You're going to be tempted. Uranus goes to war when he goes to Gemini. There's nothing else to be said. He's going to war. Physically and cosmically. Understand. He's going to war. Like he always does when he goes to Gemini. So prepare. What's your ethos? What do you value from the soul, from the heart, from your identity? How do you weigh value? What value did you cultivate in life? What process of cultivation are you dedicated or committed to sincerely? This square is real. It's time to refine your gifts and talents. It's time to refine your natural expression so that it becomes marketable, attractive, honorable, full of velour, luster. Yeah, you gotta polish it, clean it up. Apply hygiene to the expression, Virgo. And the square is that as you do so, stay real. Stay sincere. Stay true. Don't play yourself. Because you will be tempted to do it. You walk down the streets of America, you look at our poor girls, our daughters, our sisters, and the communities. They all got the same swirlies on the swirly sideburns with the wigs, same lashes. They all look exactly the same. And nothing anybody can tell them can give them the courage to let it go and embrace themselves. They're in a spell. And it's fear-based. Insecurity. They don't like how they look in the mirror. They don't like any feature that they have from the head to the toe. And they spend trillions of dollars to avoid it. Trillions. They don't have identity. Everything that comes out of their mouth is a copycat expression of something they seen on social media, something they seen a pretty girl say on Instagram. They have no original thought. Many of them are gorgeous, beautiful, but dumb as a box of rocks. I'm just keeping it a buck. College educated, but not intelligent. There's a difference. Being college educated ain't got shit to do with being intelligent. Ain't got a motherfucking thing to do with being intelligent. That's a different story. All of this is a crisis of not having identity, not being rooted and grounded in who the fuck you are. Everybody trying to be the same person. In a race to be the same person and spending trillions of dollars to do it. That's not gonna fly no more. Let's be clear about what's taking place. In this square, we can feel like I'm getting the feel of what it is that I want to express in life. I'm getting the feel of what my soul longs to be and do. Yeah. But I have to submit myself to a process. Sixth house. A process of refinement and responsibilities that brings it all to fruition. It's like the backyard brawler who's looking for a boxing coach. The kid who always took apart the electronics in his room. And now he's trying to get a scholarship to be an engineer. Do we understand what's taking place? And the second house going to the third house through Uranus means I have to learn how to stay true to myself when I bump shoulders, maneuver among those who are closest to me. I have to learn how to stay true to myself when I poly with other people, when I mix and blend with other people, when I move around with other people. I have to stay original to my thought, original to my critical thinking and wisdom. I have to stay original. We can't copy and paste no more. Uranus is insistent. Now the other square we got going on, Jupiter with Saturn, is leaving out of the third house into the fourth. The third house into the fourth house, that's when we realize the difference between the ethereal and the emotional body and what it needs. At the third house, through the ethereal, we're connecting on intellectual planes. Challenging and exercising each other on intellectual planes. But there's a part of the self that longs for emotional connection. The inner child wants to get involved, wants to be a part of your reality. An environment is required for that. Cancer is environment. It's environment. And with Jupiter leaving out of the third house into the fourth house, or out of Gemini into Cancer, it's expanding what we realize in the environment, what we absorb out of the environment towards our emotional well-being. It also suggests what we're preparing to give out to the environment, to pour into the environment, how we will influence the environment. This goes both ways. Emotional abundance and expansion. So after a long transit of being in the head, we're trying to consult now the oracle, the inner child, the emotional body, the intuition. We have to expand it. We have to connect through it at the deeper levels. Jupiter is telling us to make more space. Make more space. Make more space in your heart for others. Make more space in your time, in your day, for self-nurturing. Make more space for the nurturing that others may need of you. Make more space. Lean into care. Consider care. Notice care. Prioritize care for self and others. Emphasize care. A restoration of care. This is to learn to become caring, not disconnected. The ethereal Gemini was very disconnected. But we're slowing down and expanding so that we could step into care, the reality of care. What happens when we step into the reality of care? That's when we home in on what our assignment is, what our service is. That's when we realize how to repurpose the skill, the wisdom, the experience that we have with us from past lives. That's when we realize what our role is to play. But if we don't step into the attitude and spirit of care, we can't connect in order to realize what is needed. What is the emotional demand? What is the emotional crisis that I'm in position to change? Care. It starts with care. Do you care about how somebody feels? What somebody thinks? What somebody needs? What somebody might be going through? Do you care? It starts with care. We're learning how to expand our attitude and behaviors that reflects care. Do you fucking care? Can you care? Will you care about yourself and others? When we learn to step in that attitude of care, as a consequence of putting that out, we receive more. The more you care for others, the more that care is going to return to you somehow. Don't be arrogant. Oh, I always care about other people. I always show them. Don't nobody ever do this. Don't nobody ever. Yes, they do. It ain't the way you want it to be. Don't be fucking ungrateful. If you show care, you will get care. If you show compassion, you will get compassion. You show love, you'll get love. This is a time where we have to learn to expand our motherly instinct. This is a time where we have to step into the leadership of our intuition, consultation of the oracle at every turn, giving full acknowledgement to the intuitive read, the read of the room, the read of the face, the read of the body, the read of the situation. Reading. We are reading at glance. This is where we at now. Yeah. Care. The square to that, Neptune, and Saturn, it's the discipline and commitment that helps us to shed away and dissolve who we were not. It's also the discipline, the grit, the consistency, the rectitude to begin constructing who we realize we really are. And why would that be in square to Jupiter entering Cancer? Because we're in our head too much. We're self-centered. We're focused very hard on the self. And we're acting as if we don't have room to consider others. We closed off our heart. We closed off our soul from feeling, from loving, from connecting with the inner child of self and others, from seeing the child in others. We disconnect from that because we stepped into an ambitious instinct that we picked up from past lives that we have to learn to shed away. This time we're supposed to surrender into a sense of compassion and care. Because guess what? When we learn to compromise in that, that's when realizations occur. Clairvoyant and intuitive realizations and revelations, they descend down to inform how Saturn is to construct the new identity, consistent with your capacity to care. Consistent with your capacity to care. Let's get that understood. But we're in a rush. We're in a rush to make ourselves a certain way for our own selfish aims, but the selfishness is the part that has to be dissolved and left behind. Because what good is anything about us if it does not amount to success in Cancer? It is all futile. If we are truly authentic, the benefit of who we are will always show fruit through Cancer. Because Cancer is where the family unit, the community, the weak and the innocent, women and children, the meek, that's where they are at. None of your talents, your gifts, your service, your strength, your power, your accomplishments, your success, it means nothing. Your knowledge or your wisdom, your fancy talks, you wow and impress people with the things that come out of your mouth. Yeah, I went to this star galaxy system and we was kings, and yeah, conspiracy theory this and conspiracy theory that, and under the pyramids this and that. What good is any of that bullshit if it doesn't manifest fruitful outcomes at Cancer? It's irrelevant. It is fucking irrelevant. It don't mean shit if it don't amount to fruit at Cancer. It don't mean a motherfucking thing. And that is part of the meaning of this square, is realizing that whatever it is that you have an ambitious aim to pursue or make of yourself, it must include showing fruit at Cancer. And showing fruit at Cancer is my service, my sacrifice, my life. It is founded upon my reverence of the wounds that bore me. It is founded upon the sacred family. Man, woman, and child, not just woman and child as feminists re-engineered it. Man, woman, and child. Man, woman, and child. Man, woman, and child. Jupiter in Cancer represents husbands. Understand. Don't be stuttering on this shit. Let's keep looking at other points. Stay with me. All right, quick detail. We have a square in two places that I want us to give consideration to. That is a square between Saturn and Aries, Jupiter in Cancer, and these are at the first degrees of Aries and Cancer. There's also a square between Uranus and Mars, and these are endings. So there's a square at the beginnings, new beginnings, okay, with Saturn at Aries, with Jupiter in Cancer. There's a square with two endings, Taurus, Uranus, Leo, Mars. What should we consider? As for Mars and Uranus, Mars is giving you the impulse to do something. It's telling you that you want to fight for something. You want to stand up for something. You want to defend something. And that really is to have drama that makes your life mean something. You want to feel the testosterone in your blood, the heat and vitality of your blood. You want it to move through your veins for a purpose, for a cause. Because Mars goes where justice calls. Mars goes where truth must be defended. Mars is also the defender of the identity and personal expression. If we don't know the numerology of the self, in contrast and an explanation of the natal birth chart, you can make the mistake of directing this energy in counterproductive ways and destructive ways, in ways that causes implications throughout your life. Misguided, misdirected energy. And that square is against Uranus, which is telling you change, evolve, but do so authentically. Get back to who you really are and don't stray away. Fight and rebel against anything that's in the way of you living out an authentic expression of yourself. What's in the way? Uranus is here to fight against whatever that is. Because Uranus always wants to bring you back to the true self. Uranus always wants to make sure that you remain free and never bound, constrained in slavery. So both of these are impulses within the self, and it can read very subtle. You feel restless. You feel frustrated or angry. You have anxiety, ADHD, so on and so forth. Why? Because we have not identified who we are and what the responsibilities are behind that. What the course of action is behind that. What are we supposed to do with that knowledge? What is it supposed to look like? This cannot come from guessing in a fucking dark. You have a natal birth chart. Every person has specifications according to the numerology that rules over their life and destiny and identity. We have to investigate ourselves, study ourselves to know ourselves. It's not something that just appears. You have to work to know who you are and what you're supposed to be doing. Because now you have a target. Now you can formulate a strategy. Now you can take a productive approach, focusing and channeling the energy productively, rather than it finding its way into drama, trauma, and confusion in your life. And you don't know where it's coming from. Why you're acting like that, why you're behaving like that. Uranus is telling you to rebel against what you've been doing, Mars. To rebel against what you've been fighting for, Mars. To change course. To catch on to the rhythm of the self. To create the reality of life that is most suitable for who you really are. There's a service that you owe to humanity. There's something that you're supposed to give to the people. And if you're not doing it, you're going to be just like any juvenile delinquent who's misguided, roaming the streets. They're full of energy and purpose, but they don't know what it is. So what do? They join gangs. They get pregnant early. They spray paint all over the walls. They steal cars. They drink and smoke and do drugs. Beat people up, rob people. Yeah. So in your way, in my way, we're going to do the same things, acting like some juvenile delinquents because we don't know who the fuck we are. Do you know who you are? Do you know? Not I think. Do you know? You have to know who you are and what your assignment is in this life. Those energies are there to facilitate for you to make that happen. Mars is you on that hamster wheel doing the same thing, fighting for the same things that you really don't even know why you're doing it. And Uranus is saying, hey, come over here, bring that energy over here, bring that strength over here. But you can't figure it out. You can't get a strategy. You can't get a picture of what that is because you don't know who the fuck you are or what you're supposed to be doing. You don't fucking know. Because you didn't care enough about yourself to investigate yourself, to confirm it. Who are you? And what the fuck you supposed to be doing? And why the fuck ain't you doing it? We got to make our minds up. We have to make our minds up because we're always going to get help and support from this universe. But it falls on deaf ears. It falls into the bay of distraction. It's all futile if you're not aligned. And that's part of the alignment. Knowing yourself, studying yourself is the greatest study that you can ever do. Oh, infamous astrologist, I want to learn astrology. Do you have classes on astrology? No, nigga, study yourself. Do you know your natal birth chart? Do you know who you are in your natal birth chart? Yeah. En route to studying who the fuck you are, you're gonna learn it. That's how you learn astrology. Otherwise, you're an artist. You become another one of those positive vibes only poets out there because it never sank into the soul and never connected to the heart because you never had a real intention, a real reason why you're learning it. You're fucking around. Uranus is calling at the 29th degree Taurus. Yo, I'm getting ready to close this door. I'm about to step into Gemini. Are you ready? Clean up your shit. We gotta go. Hurry up. You're about to miss your train. That 29th degree is serious. It means act now, nigga. Get the fuck up, act now. But you don't know what to act on. Mars is doing the same thing. The strongest position that Mars could be in is Leo, third decan, ruled by Aries and Mars. It's right at home. That's when Mars is most gangster. That's when Mars got street credibility, nigga. He with all the smoke. When he's in the third decan of Leo, he's banging. He's fighting and banging. But what happens if you don't know what you're fighting and banging for? Look at how our powers just go to waste. You got it. It's like you got a youth who loves fighting. They got the killer instinct. But what happens if they not subject to a discipline, a vision, a purpose, structure, order, mentorship, right? It only ends in prison, jail, or the fucking graveyard. Imagine Mike Tyson, the killer instinct. Mike Tyson was born to knock niggas out. He was born to get busy. He from Brownsville, Brooklyn. Never ran, never will, Brownsville. Come on, Brooklyn, nigga. He from Brooklyn. Anything born in Brownsville, Brooklyn is a warrior, through and through. I know personally. But what happens if he never ran into Customato? What happens if he would have never ran into his coaches? Where he gets Saturn, where he gets Jupiter. Structure, order, discipline, higher learning, philosophy, mentorship, guidance, nurturing. See, we're being facilitated, but we're not lining up. We don't know who we are. When the killer instinct, the nature in and of itself, when it's not subject to mentorship, discipline, or the structure of vision, a purpose, it only brings you to the graveyard of prison. And for females, it only gets you pregnant. And in a situation where don't nobody even want you, ran through. Yeah. Which is the same thing as prison or the fucking grave. Yeah. It's the same fucking thing. This is why we can't fuck around. Imagine Muhammad Ali, right? The instinct that he got, but it was never channeled. From the Nation of Islam to the boxing ring. He was a hero and a revolutionary at the same fucking time. Purpose. And his name will never die. Eternal life is in that. So it's either all the way up or all the way the fuck down. Because if you're not focused on your purpose, if you're not aligned with your purpose, your energy is only going to destroy you. It's going to ruin your life because it's not meant for anything except the purpose that you have. So you don't have a fucking choice. Are you listening, man? Do niggas get this shit? Do you get it through your fucking head? Put your burger down and get focused, nigga. What the fuck are we doing? Uranus is banging on the door, 29th degree. Yeah. It's a critical point. I'm getting you prepared for Gemini. Gemini Gemini is very fast moving, it's fast paced, it's highly accelerated, controversial. It pushes experience to the max. It tests all theories. It is a messenger of the values that it has accumulated throughout Taurus. Okay? Uranus has accumulated the values of Taurus. What that looks like is in your second house characteristic. And now it's time to take it to Gemini and bang with it, nigga. That's what that's about. Why you think when Uranus get to Gemini, what does Uranus do? He bangs, nigga. He goes to fucking war. Every time Uranus goes to Gemini, he goes to fucking war. Because that's where the revolutionary gets in the ethereal. In which Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. He's at home there. And he's trying to get you ready. But if you're not aligned, you will bang yourself. You'll shoot yourself. You'll stab yourself. Yeah. What is Mars getting ready for at the 29th degree of Leo? It's getting ready for refinement and responsibility, accountability, lining up with what perfects the expression, lining up with what polishes the expression, lining up with what delivers the expression at the highest value, lining up with what blesses the image and the expression with valor. So Mars is there at the 29th degree and is trying to get your attention so that you can be intentional about submitting yourself to the responsibility and accountability that goes with the heart, soul, urge expression which Mars fights for. And Uranus is fighting to make sure that you stay free and available to do that in your own unique way while remaining marketable to the world at the speed of the world market. But what does this look like for you? Do you know your numerology? Do you know your natal birth chart? Do you study it? If you're giving less than obsession, it's not enough, it's not good enough. Sorry. Red ink all over your paper. It's not good enough if you're not fucking obsessed. You have to be obsessed with knowing who the fuck you are. Understand? It's ending what you've been doing with these two energies. Uranus and Gemini is going to be a hell of a fight that you got to give. You have to fight to keep the crown. That is after you fought for your freedom. You have to fight to keep your freedom. And you got to fight hella hard. You don't believe me. You don't believe me. Mars preparing you to go through Virgo. We should know that there's things that's getting your attention that don't need your attention. There's things you're making yourself available for that you really should make yourself available for. It's time to limit the availability that you're affording others. And focus. Clear the table of distractions. OCD about the identity. Level, square, straight, clean. It's time to sterilize, polish, and clean. Disinfect the self. Disinfect the mindset. Disinfect the lifestyle. Disinfect the sixth house. Virgo rules the sixth house. What are you doing with your time? What recipe, what formula, what ritual have you subjected yourself to to where you can anticipate a promising image, character, and authority at the 10th house. Mars is trying to get you ready. So we're all feeling that energy, but to not know what it's for is a disaster. To know what it's for is revolution, personal revolution. The square with Jupiter and Saturn, you want to expand your sense of fulfillment in life through Cancer. Emotional fulfillment, relationship connections, all of the things that makes your inner child feel whole, feel acknowledged, fulfilled, cared for, nurtured, supported. Jupiter is there for that. But when we don't know who we are and don't know our purpose, what does that look like? It looks like you being toxic. It looks like you gossiping. It looks like you moving and stirring emotional energy around like a witch. It looks like you doing witchcraft. You're pushing and stirring emotional energy around because you're unhappy with yourself. You're miserable with yourself. So you're in other people's business. You're trying to provoke and manipulate emotional stimulants out of other people. Chase me. I thought you loved me. I thought you cared for me. You don't really love me. You don't really care for me. Do you have anything to do with your time? Do you have anything to busy yourself? Don't you got better things to do? This is who you fall into when you're not aligned. Because Jupiter coming in Cancer, you're not going to resist that. The appetite for emotional feedback, the appetite for emotional inclusion and involvement and connection is going to be intensified to the max. And if you're not aligned, it's a crisis. If you are aligned, it is abundance coming in. Your life is going to feel like heaven. But if you're not lined up with what your life was supposed to be platformed for, according to your numerology, according to your natal birth chart theory, it's an emotional disaster. That is you drowning in the waters of Cancer, not sailing the oceans of Cancer. You're on the other side. It's a beginning, an initiation. Grace comes with initiations because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make errors. You're here to learn. You're here to test. That's why Sagittarius full moon is open in this phase. Freedom. Freedom. You want emotional abundance in your life, but if you're not aligned, what does that look like? You're miserable and you want emotional abundance in your life. So what does it look like? You get pregnant by some fucking bum because you want to love a baby and you want a baby to love you back, but you hate the nigga you got pregnant by. That's what the fuck it look like. You a miserable motherfucker. And you lay down and had a baby because Jupiter, through Jupiter, that's enough emotional fulfillment, the illusion of emotional fulfillment at that capacity through caring for a child and raising a child. So now the child has to be cursed and have fucking misery because you didn't have that shit figured out when the energy came in. So subconsciously through the soul, you create the experience of you getting pregnant by somebody that you don't even fucking like. This is the type of shit that happens. Jupiter Cancer. You can't trust this bitch. Some fucking stripper with a chicken bone tattoo. Bullet holes in the arm and bullet wounds in the arm and all kind of shit. Tattoos all over the place, smell like Black and Miles. And you get this bitch pregnant. You string her along, you move her in. You taking care of her. All kind of problems and issues that you're bringing upon yourself. Why? Because you're using Cancer Jupiter transit inappropriately. You want the emotional abundance in your life, but you're doing it in a toxic way because you're not lined up. So now look what the fuck you create. Don't you know it's expensive to procrastinate? Can't you see how much it costs to just fuck around and not care to know who the fuck you are? It's expensive. It takes a lifetime to get out of that shit. A fucking lifetime. And you're fucking around. Yeah. So it could be real good or it could be real bad. That Saturn hold at Aries is holding conjunct Neptune. And that conjunction is construct your ideal. Formulate your ideal. What is the character Saturn of the ideal Neptune of the identity Aries? It's time to construct it. It's time to build. And it's squaring that Jupiter Cancer because you're saying to yourself, oh, I long for emotional abundance. I just want somebody to hug me. I want somebody to make me feel good. Like on Monsters Ball. Y'all seen that shit. You know what I mean? Holly Berry, Monsters Ball. Oh, I just want to feel good. Head ass niggas. Yeah, now you fucking on the couch. But what you supposed to be doing? Saturn conjunct Neptune architecture. What's the concept? Okay, let's order the materials. Let's build this motherfucker. That square is serious. One square beginning and one square ending. The ending between Mars and Uranus. What have I been fighting for? What have I been using my strength for? What have I been asserting my will for? And Uranus is saying, yo, you know you've been wasting your time in some areas. You know you just been fucking off. You know it's futile to be going in that direction. There's a lot of conversations going on between these impulses. But to know what it means for you is another story. What does it mean for you? Don't guess. We gotta know. That Mars and Uranus square is saying to you, it's time to be yourself. And it's going to be a fight to be yourself. At that last degree, it's the last round of that fight. Thriller in Manila, nigga. Thriller in Manila. It's the last round. You dog tired, but it's the last round, and this is the most important round. Fighting for your identity. The authenticity of it. But Uranus square is suggesting you have to get good at navigating impulsive nature. Mastering impulsive nature. Why? So that you can get into strategy. You have to become aware of your impulse, your impulsiveness, so you can get into strategy. We can't get into strategy if we're not intentional. Without the intention, it remains impulses. And when they remain impulses, you are impulsive because you're not directing them. You're not giving command to these energies. Schedule for your natal birth chart reading, which includes details in numerology, so we can really know, so we can really understand who we are, so the intention can be formed accurately, because we have to align to get the maximum benefit out of what is unfolding at this revolutionary hour of our point of evolution and humanity. We don't want to miss these opportunities. It's wide open for us, but we could blow all of it too at the same time.